Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is October 8th of 2021. Um, See an update on a few things. I got Wells Fargo. I had to call Wells Fargo a second time. I Wasn't my fault, but the website where I pay the apartment rent, they were messed up. Where you go pay your bill, or you can go there and enter in a work order that you need done or something like that. But so far as the um, paying the rent, the site was messed up, and I did not know it. But a little bit of my carelessness. Uh, I went there, and I mean the site looked okay, and I went ahead and paid the $1,023 or whatever it was rent for the month. And in the past, I've always got an email right away. But I thought, okay, well, they're messed up a little bit. Then I sort of forgot that I actually paid them, but I went back a few days later, and it didn't show that I paid them on the list there of transactions. It didn't show that I paid them. And you always ought to listen to your gut or your feelings or whatever you call it. I thought, well, I didn't pay him, so I went ahead and paid again, and didn't get an email, and that didn't show up. So a day or two later, I called the apartment office here, and I said, "Is there anything wrong? With the site for paying?" "Oh yeah, it's been down and it's messed up, and they're working on it, something like that." And I said, "Well, I think I just paid the rent twice." And so, she said, "Well, don't worry, it'll be okay, and, we'll take care of it," or something like that. I went ahead and called Wells Fargo Bank. I got in right away, talked to somebody really nice, and he looked at my account, and he saw, oh, I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, that's the reason I called Wells Fargo Bank. And anyway, in the morning, whatever day this was, after I'd gone there and paid twice and didn't know I really for sure paid twice because it didn't show anything of paying. Went there in the morning, and then I came back a couple hours later or something like that, and it showed, didn't have the correct date. It showed on the first of the month, the 10th, two payments made with different check numbers. Now they're not check numbers because it's an automatic, but they had, listed as check numbers. And I thought, oh, this is not good. And then I logged into my Wells Fargo bank account, and it showed that both of them had been taken out, and that I was in overdraft for $800. So I called the Wells Fargo, and the guy pulled up I can see you paid twice. Yeah, this, 1,023, whatever the cents were, whatever. He says, we'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. He says also, because they'd taken some money out of my credit card, which didn't have very much available to take out, bank credit card. And they also took out, I think I had like $5 or $10 in my savings account, because I have money every month that I put into the savings account automated, but before the month's over, I have to, whatever's in there, I always have to take out. But he said, and that will all be taken care of. And so a couple of days later, which was, I think, yesterday, I believe, or maybe the day before, I called back because I never asked him how long it would take to fix this thing. And I called back, and I got a different person, and I I said, how long does this take? He said the same thing. No problem. We'll just charge, back and take it out of their account. He said 10 days. I thought, oh, not good. I didn't say that to him or anything. I said, okay. And he said, I'll switch you over to the department that takes care of that. So switched me over. And this real nice lady, she said, she could see it too. And she said, we got the thing, but she said, let me go over there. It had got, to them. She said, can you hold for a little bit? And I said, sure. And I think it was 5 minutes or maybe even a bit longer. And she came back, I'm sorry you had to hold. And I said, no problem. And she said, okay, I just put the money back in your account that had been taken, moved over to cover that, which was, nothing, less than $50 probably. And she said, tomorrow morning, you'll have the entire thing taken back. And I said, great. And then a couple hours later, I went to the account, and it had already been transferred, so everything's okay with my bank account. Okay. I lead such a dull life. I have to, other people make YouTube videos and they show you with their dogs and cats or on vacation or flying in an airplane or something. And my life is pretty dull, except when I overpay an expensive thing like that. The audio will be different this time. I think it's going to be, hang on a second. Yes, I think it's, when I slapped like that, the meter moved. I'm thinking it's synced too. I've gone back to the Blue Yeti microphone. Let's see here, where is the Blue Yeti microphone. And I changed, I set the setting. Also, what I did is I hooked up that Sound Blaster card that I had disconnected. I hooked it up and plugged everything, I think, in correctly for that. And I don't think that's going to make a big difference with the audio and the Blue Yeti. But where it will help me is for my speakers. I have better audio going into my speakers, I think. I'm running Windows 11. You can see on the screen. So I think I've got everything set correct. Okay, there was something else. Oh, my daughter Hillary, who lives in this apartment complex, I have trouble even making it to the mailbox. But my son, we have a grown son who lives here, and he takes care of that kind of stuff, taking stuff to the, sometimes I try to make it over to the trash container to take a little bag of trash or something. He does an awful lot. But my daughter did have the, let's see, where's the mic? Here it is. Did have the, let me change this. Did have the mailbox key. She's had it quite a while, but my son has been going to mailboxes about every day. But then, so Hillary came over today to show us a baby kitten that somebody left underneath her car. But anyway, Hillary said, I've had your key. So she gave me the key. This is not the key ring. I gave it to her. Weird. Have you ever seen anything like that before? Well, there's a slide on this. You can do this. Nope, that doesn't do that. Okay, it's here on the side. Pull that down, raise it up so you can put keys on. Okay. Now the other thing, here on the side, can you see that? That's a USB input. And anyway, this, yeah, doing that. Can you see that comes on? So I am not sure. I'll have to ask her what it does. I thought I saw a name on here someplace. Thought I'd do a search on Google. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Let's see. When I bring this down, is that for putting a cigarette in there and lighting it? I guess I could stick my finger in there and see if it generates any. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure I saw a name someplace on this thing. Anyway, Hillary comes up with some. If you watch some of my videos, you saw Hillary out there on these springy shoes that you can jump up and down with. Then she flies some drones and all kinds of stuff. Hillary is really worry about her. When she was in Sweden for 10 years, and I mean, found out later on after she came here, she's a U.S. citizen and a Swedish citizen. She married a Swedish man. They're divorced now. But she took a small boat out more than once in storms. And she got pulled into some rocks where she scratched herself up really bad, some cuts and stuff. And then one time she was out, and everybody else that's smart was not going out. It was a storm, and she was out there enjoying the storm, but she was having a hell of a time. And a guy, a Swedish guy, came out there with his boat and said, ma'am, you need to get on shore. And she said, no, I'm fine. And he said, no, you need to go. This is a storm you need to get. And so he got her to go on into shore, or else I don't think she'd be around today. She's a hard worker, and she's fearless, but she's not too smart when it comes to things like that. And but she'd made a good woman back in the pioneer times or whatever. She'd have been out chopping down trees and doing everything. She's worked some jobs, like she was working at Walmart for a while before she went to Sweden, before she got married and went to Sweden, and working the midnight shift. And it was the receiving dock. And she would go, she'd carry more, she would carry, the other people would be saying, okay, use this forklift or use this, and she'd be carrying the package of things, boxes, and just doing all types of things that, she could have hurt her back and then be, disabled for the rest of her life or something. She just, I don't know. Worry about all my kids, but because you never know what can happen. I got 4 kids, they're all grown. The youngest lives here. We all share this apartment. We all chip in on the rent, and well, mainly the rent. They all chip in, and then the ex-wife, she takes care of ordering the groceries, and she pays for the she pays for the groceries, stuff like that. So apartment rents have gone up. Well, of course, I can just talk. I can only talk about this situation that I know, but the apartment rents just keep going up, and seems to be no end to it. I don't know what the solution is. Well, I guess the solution is because I'm sure all these they more or less have said it, and they don't make it a secret. All the apartment people here, they all know what all the other places, charge, and so they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it the same. When I was down in Miami, I'd retired, but when I retired, I kept working. But when I was down in, I think it was Orlando, I worked for a contract company. That's the one I told you about. That I just went there to get a job. All my life, I worked 30 years hospital security, and just I think you can probably imagine. But so I was retired, and I was over 65, and then I went to this contract guard company, and I said, hey, I filled out my thing. I turned in CPR certification instructor thing, my certificate for a police academy, and I filled out everything. So it looked good. But all I wanted was, I said, I just want a job, and I can even just work maybe 12 hours on Saturday or Sunday or something. Just put me at a building or something, just sitting at the front desk, checking people in and out, and occasionally getting up and the guy was like, oh, no, we have a hospital, and we need you to be in charge of that place out there. And I said, no, I don't want to. And I went this direction for some reason. What was it? I do not know. Oh, terrible to get old. Um, you know, I've mentioned this before. I worked all my life. I usually worked two jobs, and I really worked. And I always did my job. No matter what the pay, no matter what the job was, I always did the job. I wasn't like somebody that's looking for a job where he doesn't have to work, or he's going to, take shortcuts or whatever. I always did did the job. Um, what I did not do, although I signed up a couple of times for, physical therapy, machines and that kind of. One was at the hospital, which I used once or twice. Employees of the hospital, you could pay, and you got a key to go up, and you could use the equipment. And I paid, and I think I did it twice, maybe once, stuff like that. But I thought that all the work that I did, I thought that was pretty good, exercise. Well, it turned out that it wasn't. Um, just because I was walking 8 hours a day nonstop, or 12 hours a day, or whatever I was doing, that wasn't enough. So if you're a young person, watch your diet, exercise, really exercise, But it was kind of nice in a way when I was over 65 or whatever, and I went to the doctor, and then when I started having chest pain and stuff, they had to go in the hospital for a different things where they put the camera through the artery in your thigh and go up with the camera and look at your heart and your arteries and all this kind of stuff. You know, when I would, when things like that, and even when then I had to have a pacemaker. When I would talk to the nurse, you know, or whatever, any operations? No, no operations at your age. You haven't, no, you haven't had any operation. I had my tonsils out. No, no, not your tonsils. You know, and now I'm an average old person. I'm 80 now, and yeah, I've had some stuff done. But it was nice to go all those years because working at hospitals for 30 years, I saw, you know, young guys come in the hospital and die right away, and other people come in who were like young, you know, or fairly young and regular, you know, regular customers to the emergency room for various, you know, various reasons. I think one guy, now he was, you know, sort of elderly. He was a Kansas City, Missouri police officer. I think he was still working, but his wife, she, you know, I would be making my rounds through the hospital, and I'd see him, and I know then I'd know his wife was there. I'd go over and ask how's she doing, that kind of stuff. And she was in there all the time. I'm pretty sure that he's the guy who one time he brought his wife in. She usually came by ambulance, so maybe I'm getting somebody mixed up. Well, anyway, we had this emergency room. There was only like 3 parking spaces, and they were actually supposed to be for doctors on the ramp. I mean, this is an old hospital. And a guy came in. Well, he drove, so I guess the ambulance brought his wife and took her into the emergency room. And then on the other hand, I know she went up. Maybe she would just got directly admitted pretty quick. Maybe he didn't get there immediately, but they took her up to the room, and he parked on the other side of the street, Prospect. This is in Kansas City, Missouri. He parked on the other side of the street, in front of the bank, I guess, and walked across to come in the emergency room entrance, and he was hit by a car and killed. So I'm not sure when they informed the wife. I guess pretty quick, because she'd be asking probably, you know, where's my husband or something. Anyway, how long has this been going? Only 21 minutes. That's good for me. The microphone thing looks like it's, you know, responding, and I think it's synced okay. And let's see what else is going on. We got a small grocery delivered today. Delivered from Walmart. I finally, this Amazon, finally dug it out. I should be able to use it somehow. You know, it's the Amazon. I don't know which one it is. I'm really thinking I want to get it. I've never had an Apple device, and I do want to get the Apple iPad. And remember, I bought one, and well, right away when I bought it, I have arthritis really bad, and looking down like this to put this information into it was, I told you guys in the video, okay, this is going to be a problem, but I still was looking forward to it. But of course, you have to get an Apple email address, and so I couldn't do it. I got it, and I forget. If you're interested in the video, well, you'll never find it because of me rambling. Where is that in a video, But um, it gave me an error. It just kept giving an error. And okay, I'm not a total old man with computers and that kind of stuff. And all I needed to get was an email address from Apple, and I'd have been all set. And then I would be, of course, this was now they've come out, this was like last year, I think, or something. But I think I knew then, whatever time it was, that a new iPad was coming. But I still was happy I couldn't get it. And then I looked, before I sent it back to Amazon, I did a search, and that's on the screen too, and that wherever that video is. Going back for years, there were things list, and the complaints were, hey, I purchased an Apple device, and here's the error I get when I try to get an email address. I can't get it. And I thought, God, Apple hasn't fixed whatever that problem is and taken care of it. And so I returned the thing to Amazon. I looked the other day, and there is an Apple store that is not very far from here in Fort Worth. So I'm thinking of, as soon as I can afford it, getting an Apple iPad, the one that's probably, what is it, $350. Except I also want, of course, the stylus. I think that's about $100 extra. But if I have a problem this time, all I need is to get the email address, get an email address myself, and then I can get into it, and then if I have a problem, instead of sending it back, I'll just go to well, I don't have a car, and I don't have a driver's license. Hillary would have to take me. But I'll ask Hillary to take me over there to the Apple store and have them help me. Anyway, see what else is going on. We actually ran out of Coke here. Well, my son walked up and got us a couple 2-liter bottles of Coke, but we usually keep, I've showed it, I think, before to you. And we usually have a stack of 24-pack of Cokes stacked up over there. And that's why I have diabetes, I'm sure. My ex-wife has diabetes. My grown son will not go to the doctor. He should be seen. We can't get him to go. And he should go because there's things that they could catch early. I'm sure he's probably, diabetic for one thing. And he's done a lot of smoking, and he does a lot of coughing. So just can't get him to. He's got that philosophy, well, whatever's going to happen, and it'll happen. By the way, we're all vaccinated. We've all had the 2 shots. I got the Pfizer, and I think I just saw on CNN, they're saying that they are seeing the data now that is saying the protective quality is going down with, how long. So for that one, you're definitely going to need a booster shot. So sounds like we'll be getting booster, you'll get a flu shot once a year, and every 6 months, the way it's going, you'll get a booster shot for the virus. If everybody would just it's become political though. If everybody would just get the shots, get the vaccine. Everybody get the vaccine. This is not, it's not political. It's science. It's medical. when I was a kid, there was measles, there was mumps, polio. What else? All of that was taken care of, by a vaccine. We don't have those problems anymore. And two, this sucks. This is, I didn't think something like this was, we've already, 700,000 have died from this virus, and that's more now than the 1917 flu epidemic here in the United States. Well, the thing was worldwide, but that was a big, the big thing back then. Just about every household lost, but households were bigger. There was more kids and stuff. My father, there was in his family, 7 boys and 3 daughters. And now they didn't lose anybody from the flu. Well, there was some young. That wasn't for the. There was one of his brothers that did die young. I should check and see. I should check and see if he died like in 1917 or something. I don't think he did. But if everybody would just, drop the political stuff on this, but there's a business. I mean, it's, people can get people by coming up with, crazy stuff, and that gets them a following and gives them some power. They can use it to attack the other side, all this kind of stuff. Guy, why can't we, if we're going to fight about something, let's fight over something that's not science, you want to, because this sucks. Here I am 80 years old. I got a few more years left in me, but it looks like I will be wearing a mask and getting a flu shot or a virus shot every 6 months or something. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and when I find out what, I'll just have to ask her. I'm pretty sure that's the wrong one. I'm pretty sure that must be for a cigarette to go in there, because look around it. Doesn't that look like tobacco, burned or something or other? So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't need this. I don't know why she insisted on giving it to me. Thank you very much for watching.